every project we had some kind of little argument about what the project should be creatively, and I would say we would probably still be doing that, but at the same time getting the work done and probably doing something amazing.
N.W.A, short for with attitudes, emerged from the streets of Compton, California in the late 1980s, bringing a raw and unfiltered voice to the hip-hop scene and revolutionizing the genre. Stick around as we uncover the sensational journey of N.W.A, exploring the reasons that led to their rise, their groundbreaking music, and the tragic fate that ultimately led to their breakup, the death of N.W.A. From their controversial lyrics to their groundbreaking beats, N.W.A music not only challenged societal norms, but also paved the way for a new era of expression and rebellion. This group consisted of Eazy-E, the driving force behind N.W.A, Dr. Dre, a local DJ who had a knack for creating infectious beats, Ice Cube, who was then a member of the CIA, which stands for Crew in Action, MC Ren, DJ Yella, and Arabian Prince. Each member brought their unique talents and perspectives to the table, creating a powerful and unapologetic force in the music industry. Eazy-E, a charismatic and street-savvy hustler who had a vision to bring the realities of life in Compton to the forefront of the music industry, with his unique style and undeniable presence, started his own record label called Ruthless Records. It was here that the seeds of N.W.A were sown. In 1987, N.W.A released their first project, an album titled N.W.A and the Posse. The album featured their debut single, Panic Zone, which showcased their raw and unfiltered style. While the album didn't achieve mainstream success, it laid the foundation for what was to come. In 1988, N.W.A released their groundbreaking album, Straight Outta Compton. This album was a game changer, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream music. It was a raw and unapologetic portrayal of life in Compton, addressing issues such as police brutality, racial profiling, and the harsh realities of inner city life.
5 white guys walking together are friends. 5 black guys walking together is a gang. In the police eyes. You know what I'm saying?
However, as N.W.A.'s fame and success grew, so did the tensions within the group. Ice Cube's departure from N.W.A. in 1989 sent shockwaves through the music industry, leaving fans wondering what had caused this sudden rift. Ice Cube played a crucial role in the group's success with his powerful lyrics and charismatic presence. This decision shocked the music industry and fans alike, as N.W.A. was at the height of their success. At the heart of the conflict was a bitter dispute over royalties, a battle that would ultimately lead to Ice Cube's departure from the group. Ice Cube, known for his sharp lyricism and uncompromising approach, felt that he was not receiving his fair share of the financial rewards from the success of N.W.A. He believed his contributions were undervalued, considering his significant contributions to the group's groundbreaking album, Straight Outta Compton. This led to a bitter feud between him and the other members of N.W.A., particularly Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, the group's manager.
It was a guy named Jerry Heller. It was the whole divide and conquer type thing, you know what I mean?
After leaving N.W.A., Ice Cube released his debut solo album, America's Most Wanted, which was met with critical acclaim and commercial success. He continued to release groundbreaking albums, addressing social and political issues with his thought-provoking lyrics. N.W.A. faced challenges without Ice Cube's lyrical prowess. His departure marked a turning point for the group as they struggled to find their footing. The group released their second album, For Life, which was successful but lacked the same impact as their debut album, Straight Outta Compton. However, discussions about an N.W.A. reunion did take place. Ice Cube and Eazy-E entertained the idea, recognizing the potential power of reuniting the iconic group. But there was one condition that Cube made abundantly clear. Jerry Heller, N.W.A.'s former manager, would not be involved.
Our feud had died down, and it was, you know, him and Dre was still at odds. So I was like, yo, if you can get Dre to do it, you know, I'm down, I'm ready.
While discussions of a reunion took place, the uncertainty surrounding the involvement of Jerry Heller and the commitment of Dr. Dre left the future of N.W.A. hanging in the balance. In truth, Dr. Dre was also growing increasingly unhappy with his situation in N.W.A. He noticed that Jerry Heller seemed to be favoring Eazy-E, making him the main focus of the group. In an interview with Vibe magazine, Dre revealed that the split came when Heller played the divide and conquer game, choosing to take care of Eazy-E instead of the entire group. This left Dre feeling neglected and undervalued. The split came when Jerry Heller got involved. He played the divide and conquer game. He picked one to take care of instead of taking care of everybody, and that was Eazy. And Eazy was just like, well, I'm taken care of, so it. When I reach Heller later by telephone, he reluctantly admits that Dre was probably right. You know, Dre was a producer and a member of the group, he says. Eazy was interested in being Berry Gordy, so more of my time was spent with Eazy. Dre felt Heller was closer to Eazy-E than the rest of N.W.A. because Eazy-E was more interested in the business side of music. Dre, on the other hand, was primarily a producer producer and a member of the group.
We have to look at Ruthless the way it was structured. Easy owned the company, so he got a certain percentage off the top.
This unequal treatment further fueled Dre's dissatisfaction with N.W.A. While the tensions within the group were already mounting, it was during the production of N.W.A.'s sophomore album in 1991 that things reached a breaking point for Dr. Dre.
I actually stepped to Eric and I said, look, man, it's either me or him. One of us got to go, you know? It's like if he goes, we can continue doing what we got to do. He chose to keep the manager, so I had to leave.
He was already on the verge of leaving due to his issues with Eazy-E and Jerry Heller when he received a helping hand from an unexpected source, Suge Knight, a former NFL defensive lineman turned rap executive. Dre revealed that Suge Knight informed him that he was being shortchanged on his contract with N.W.A.'s label, Ruthless Records. Dre had been receiving a small percentage of royalties for his production on albums, and he felt that he deserved more. Knight's revelation, coupled with the suspicious dealings he had been experiencing, pushed Dre to make the difficult decision to leave N.W.A. In 1992, he parted ways with the group and co-founded Death Row Records with Marion Suge Knight, embarking on a new chapter in his career that would later solidify his status as a music icon. What happened to N.W.A. after the departure of two of their key members? It was evident that Ice Cube and Dr. Dre left behind a void that seemed impossible to fill. Without Dr. Dre's exceptional production skills and undeniable talent, which had become a driving force behind N.W.A.'s success, his signature sound and innovative beats had helped shape the group's unique style. And then there was Ice Cube, the lyrical genius whose sharp and unapologetic verses had captivated audiences and solidified N.W.A.'s reputation as fearless truth-tellers. The impact of their departure was immediate and profound. Fans were left wondering how N.W.A. could possibly continue without the creative genius of Dr. Dre and the lyrical prowess of Ice Cube. Critics questioned whether the group could maintain their relevance and continue to push boundaries without their key members. N.W.A. faced a daunting challenge: how to redefine themselves and continue their musical journey. In 1991, N.W.A. released their second and final studio album, Eiffel for Zaggin', which is for life spelled backward. This album marked a turning point for the group, showcasing their resilience and determination to carry on without their former comrades. The remaining members, MC Ren, DJ Yella, Arabian Prince, and The Doc, also pursued their own solo endeavors with varying degrees of success. MC Ren released several solo albums, showcasing his lyrical prowess and continuing to address social issues. DJ Yella ventured into production and worked with artists like Eazy-E and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Arabian Prince explored electronic music and continued to contribute to the evolving hip-hop scene. The Doc, despite a tragic accident that affected his vocal cords, continued to write and collaborate with other artists. Just as it seemed like the story of N.W.A. had come to an end, a tragic twist of fate brought the feuding members back together. In 1995, the hip-hop world was shaken to its core when Eazy-E, the charismatic and influential member of N.W.A., passed away from complications related to AIDS.
I'm here to read a statement that was prepared by Eazy for the world. I got thousands and thousands of young fans that have to learn about what's real when it comes to AIDS.
Eazy-E's untimely death sent shockwaves through the music industry, leaving his fellow N.W.A. members devastated and reflecting on the legacy they had created together.
Somebody just randomly came up and handed me a cell phone and said, you guys should talk, right? So I got on the phone and it was Eric. And, you know, we started talking about the mistakes we had made in the past and, you know, potentially getting back together and making another record. And I was like, okay, I'm with it. And, you know, and then what happened, happened.
Ice Cube revealed that before Eazy-E's passing, the members had discussed the possibility of reuniting.
If you can get Dre to do it, you know, I'm down, I'm ready. So that's about as close as I say that we had got.
However, the tragic circumstances surrounding Eazy-E's illness and death had put those plans on hold. Despite the challenges faced during the filming of Eazy-E's final hours for the biographical film Straight Outta Compton, the remaining members of N.W.A. found solace in each other's company and began to reminisce about the impact they had made as a group.
I got to say goodbye to him, but he didn't get to say goodbye back.
The loss of their friend and collaborator made them realize the importance of unity and the significance of their shared history. It was a wake-up call that reminded them of the power they possessed when they stood together. As time went on, the wounds began to heal, and the idea of a reunion started to gain momentum. The remaining members of N.W.A. recognized that their collective voice was stronger than ever, and they owed it to Eazy-E's memory to honor their shared legacy. The reunion of N.W.A. was not just about reliving the glory days, but about about reigniting the fire that had once burned within them. It was a chance to remind the world of the impact they had made and to inspire a new generation of artists.
Oh man, it was crazy, you know, it was like a dream come true for me, and I've been thinking about this day ever since I left the group in '89. And
the road to the reunion was not without its challenges, as the members had to navigate their individual careers and personal lives. But their shared love for the music and the bond they had formed during their early years propelled them forward.
Now wait a goddamn minute. I feel it's gonna have N.W.A. up here, goddamn.
And so, the stage was set for the long-awaited N.W.A. reunion that would not only honor the legacy of Eazy-E, but also serve as a testament to the enduring power of their music. The surviving members of N.W.A., led by Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella, performed together for the first time in nearly 30 years. The birth of N.W.A. No doubt N.W.A. Group is one of the most influential rap groups in history. They brought a raw and unfiltered voice to the hip-hop scene. Their music not only challenged societal norms, but also paved the way for a new era of expression and rebellion. From their controversial lyrics to their groundbreaking beats, N.W.A. revolutionized the genre, leaving an indelible mark on the music industry. How exactly did it come to be? In the late 1980s, the world of hip-hop was about to witness a seismic shift that would forever change the landscape of the genre. It all began in the gritty streets of Compton, California, where a group of young and talented individuals came together to form a musical powerhouse known as N.W.A. The driving force behind N.W.A. was none other than Eazy-E, a former drug dealer who saw the potential for a better life through music. After the tragic murder of his cousin, Eazy-E realized that he needed to leave the streets behind and pursue a career in the music industry. Driven by his passion and determination, Eazy-E set his sights on creating a record label that would give a voice to the unheard stories of Compton. Recognizing the immense talent within his community, Eazy-E enlisted the help of two individuals who would become instrumental in shaping the sound and message of N.W.A. Dr. Dre, a member of the world-class Wreckin' Crew, had a knack for creating infectious beats, and had even played at Eazy-E's parties. Recognizing Dre's talent, Eazy-E approached him with the idea of forming a rap group. Intrigued by the opportunity, Dr. Dre agreed to join forces with Eazy-E. Setting the stage for the birth of N.W.A. Dr. Dre was a local DJ who was making a name for himself in the music scene, brought his unparalleled production skills and innovative beats to the table. But N.W.A. wasn't complete without the addition of Ice Cube, a young and talented rapper and gifted lyricist who provided raw and unfiltered storytelling that would become the hallmark of N.W.A.'s music. Ice Cube's raw lyricism and unapologetic storytelling added a new dimension to N.W.A.'s music. With his powerful words, he captured the harsh realities of life in Compton, shedding light on the poverty, violence, and systemic oppression that plagued their community. As the group began to take shape together, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube formed the core of N.W.A., but they were not alone. MC Ren, a skilled rapper with a unique flow, and DJ Yella, a master of the turntables, joined the group, adding their own distinct flavors to the mix. With their powers combined, N.W.A. was ready to take the world by storm. With their lineup solidified, N.W.A. set out to make their mark on the music industry. Eazy-E, using the money he had earned from his days as a drug dealer, started a record label called Ruthless Records, along with Jerry Heller. This label would become the platform for N.W.A.'s groundbreaking music. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, fueled by their shared vision, began writing songs for Ruthless Records. Ice Cube penned the track Boys in the Hood, originally intended for HBO, but they turned it down. Undeterred, Ice Cube and Dr. Dre decided to form their own group, which they named N.W.A. In 1987, N.W.A. released their first single, Panic Zone, a hard-hitting track that showcased their raw talent and unapologetic approach to music. The song served as a taste of what was to come, a glimpse into the unfiltered world of N.W.A. It was a bold statement that demanded attention. During this time, Ice Cube temporarily left the group to pursue his studies at the Phoenix Institute of Technology. However, he would return in 1988, just in time for the completion of Eazy-E's solo album, Eazy Does It. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella took on the majority of the production duties, while MC Ren and Ice Cube contributed their lyrical prowess. But it was their next project that would solidify N.W.A.'s place in hip-hop history. Buoyed by the success of their debut single, N.W.A. set their sights on something bigger. In 1988, they unleashed their debut album, Straight Outta Compton, upon the world. The album was a revelation, a sonic assault on the senses that left listeners both captivated and shocked. This album was a game changer, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream music. It was was a raw and unapologetic portrayal of life in Compton, addressing issues such as police brutality, racial profiling, and the harsh realities of inner-city life. Straight Outta Compton was a no-holds-barred exploration of the harsh realities of life in Compton. The album's title track, with its infectious beat and unapologetic lyrics, became an anthem for the disenfranchised youth of America. But it was one controversial song that truly put N.W.A. on the map. The standout tracks on the album was F the Police, a scathing critique of law enforcement and the systemic racism that plagued communities like Compton. It was a bold and daring move, one that would earn N.W.A. both praise and condemnation. The song's explicit lyrics and unfiltered portrayal of police brutality struck a chord with listeners who felt marginalized and oppressed. The release of Straight Outta Compton catapulted N.W.A. into the spotlight, but it also brought them face to face with censorship and controversy. Their music was deemed too explicit and dangerous, leading to radio stations and MTV refusing to play their songs. But N.W.A.'s music struck a chord with audiences who were tired of being silenced. Their albums flew off the shelves and their popularity soared. Despite the controversy surrounding their music, Straight Outta Compton became a commercial success, catapulting N.W.A. into the mainstream. The album's raw energy and defiant lyrics resonated with a generation hungry for authenticity and a voice that spoke to their experiences. N.W.A.'s rise to fame was meteoric, but it was not without its challenges. The group faced backlash from critics who accused them of promoting violence and sexism through their music. Yet N.W.A. remained unapologetic, steadfast in their commitment to telling the truth about life in Compton. As the world took notice of N.W.A., their influence began to spread far beyond the confines of Compton. Their music became a rallying cry for those who felt marginalized and unheard. N.W.A. had tapped into something powerful, something that resonated with people from all walks of life. How exactly did one of their most famous and obviously controversial songs end up written and find its way in the album, ending up to be one of the most iconic protest songs of all time? Back in the late 1980s, tensions between law enforcement and the African American community were reaching a boiling point. It was during this tumultuous time that N.W.A. emerged as the voice of a generation. In Jonathan Abrams' book, The Come Up and Oral History of the Rise of Hip Hop, he reveals that The Police is the song that almost wasn't.
Weekends with Dr. Dre, you in the club, you partying, the music is banging, you're around hip hop, he go to jail, all that stopped. So our weekends was boring, bunk, we was back on the block, we was just not doing nothing. So I was just mad that all the fun stopped and Dre had to go to jail till Monday. So I wrote the Police.
When Ice Cube presented the song to Dr. Dre, initially refused, afraid he might end up on the wrong side of the law again for producing the song. "I threw the lyrics away at first," Ice Cube said. "Dre said that he didn't want to do the song. I had rapped it to him a year before we actually did it, and he was going through an issue where he had to go to jail every weekend, Friday night, get out Monday morning. He didn't want to do the record because he was like, dude, I don't want these sheriffs me up when they find out that I produced this record when I go in for the weekend." He had just served like 3 months or something, so he was like, nah. The catalyst for this powerful protest song came from a wild and reckless act by Eazy-E and Dr. Dre on a California freeway. They decided to ride down the freeway, sticking paintball shotguns out of the car window and shooting at other vehicles, creating chaos and havoc on the road. Dre recalls, "It was me and Eazy riding around. He had this paintball gun and he was shooting people at bus stops. The cops caught us and we were face down on the freeway with guns pointed at us. We thought it was so we went to the studio and created the song." The song's opening lines, "Right about now, N.W.A. court is in full effect, Judge Dre presiding," in the case of N.W.A. versus the police department, set the stage for a powerful and provocative courtroom parody. In this courtroom scenario, Dr. Dre takes on the role of a judge, hearing a prosecution of the police department. The rappers, including Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and MC Ren, serve as the prosecutors, criticizing the local police force and highlighting the injustices faced by their community. Little did they know that this impulsive act would have far-reaching consequences. They unknowingly set in motion a chain of events that would forever change the course of their music and ignite a revolution. One of the most significant moments in the song's controversial journey came when the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, took notice. In a shocking move, the FBI wrote a letter to N.W.A.'s record company expressing their disapproval of the song. They argued that the police misrepresented law enforcement and could potentially incite violence against officers. A song recorded by the rap group N.W.A. on their album entitled Straight Outta Compton encouraged violence against and disrespect to the law enforcement officer and has been brought to my attention. Advocating violence and assault is wrong, and we in the law enforcement community take exception to such action. Violent crime, a major problem in our country, reached an unprecedented high in 1988. 78 law enforcement officers were feloniously slain in the line of duty during 1988, 4 more than in 1987. Law enforcement officers dedicate their lives to the protection of our citizens, and recordings such as the one from N.W.A. are both discouraging and degrading to these brave, dedicated officers. This unprecedented action by the FBI only fueled the song's notoriety. N.W.A. stood their ground, refusing to be silenced. Their fearless dedication to shedding light on the harsh realities of police brutality propelled them to the forefront of the hip-hop scene and solidified their place in music history. In the world of hip-hop, the police paved the way for artists to address social and political issues in their music. It opened the door for a new generation of musicians to use their platform to shed light on systemic injustices and advocate for change. The song's unapologetic approach and willingness to challenge authority set a precedent for future artists to follow. If you enjoyed this video, click on the boxes playing on your screen to watch similar content.